This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
.9 FM Guardian Radio today. Good afternoon, Bahamas, and those of you listening around the world. This is Gabby in your company. I know we haven't spoken in a while. Y'all, I had the flu. It's flu season. I had the flu. But I am feeling and doing much better now. Thank God for life and health. And I have recovered. I think I'm about 98% of the way there. So just a reminder to continue to wash your hands. You know, this is flu season. The weather is back and forth, up and down. One day it's cold, the next day it's hot. So let's just remember to take those preventative measures and take those vitamins to keep ourselves up, especially for those of us that are consistently going and going and going. I haven't been in your company since by-election. So I want to take this opportunity to congratulate the now Honorable Darren Pickstock on his election to the House of Assembly as the representative for the Golden Isles constituency. That story is also covered on the front page of today's Guardian newspaper. I want to remind you to get your copy. Other stories featured today is new U.S. ambassador arrives to the Bahamas. And before I go on with those top stories, because it's funny that the Guardian covered two sections of the front page of the Guardian today covered what I really, really wanted to talk to you all today about and what I'd like you, the Bahamian populace and the listeners, to engage with today. And two stories cover the state of PMH. One covers the state of PMH, and then one says, the top story in Guardian newspaper today says, $201 million China loan for new hospital. The House okays borrowing resolution. So this is a loan that we, the Bahamians, have to pay back for the building of this new hospital that is desperately needed. But for a moment, and I'm going to give out the phone lines. I want to give them out at the top of the show. So when you do feel so inclined to call or text, you have them readily available to you. So the numbers to call to be a part of today's conversation are 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, 242-300-5720. That's anywhere from the Family of Islands. And the text line is 422-4796, which is powered by BTC. And before I get too deep into today's conversation, we're in December now, y'all. We're approaching the holiday season, so I know a lot of businesses are out there listening. And I have to throw in the Guardian Radio plug. We already see a lot of businesses reaching out to get those promotions, get those live remotes. So if you're selling a product, you have a service, anything that you want to be broadcasted during this season, you want to contact 302-2300 and you want to tell April, listen, I want the crew to come down and I want them to do a live remote and get these customers into the store. So you want to call that number and have a conversation with April, and she's going to hook you up with the best rates, because Guardian also offers live remotes, as we would have heard over the weekend. They were down there in Lyford Hills. It was such an amazing time. So you want to get whatever it is you have out there, if it's real estate, if it's toys, if it's home improvements, Guardian has a space for you, because this is your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. I pondered all week as I was listening to the news and everything that was happening in the news and just around the country. And it clicked to me as a colleague and I were having a conversation. And I think we dubbed it as there are two H's that get Bahamians excited, riled up. It gets them hot. And it isn't, one of them isn't the heat or the humidity in the country. If you want to get Bahamians' blood ticking, mention any of these two H's: homosexuality and Haitians. You mention that, you have Bahamians on the line all day, calling frantically. Listen, that's a crisis for Bahamians once you start to talk about those two H's. But today I want to talk to you about another H. And that H is healthcare, the hospital. The edited story in The Guardian by Tanika Thompson says weeks after public health nurse was suspended for calling attention to issues at Princess Margaret Hospital, PMH, several doctors have spoken out saying shortages in supplies, medication, staff, and deteriorating infrastructure is eroding the level of care they can provide to patients. The doctors who spoke to the Nassau Guardian described the country's main hospital facility riddled with leaks, rodents, and it goes over to A5 of the paper, and I'm only going to read just a portion of this, and old equipment. They also say the hospital does not meet the nation's health care demands. The Nassau Guardian has granted anonymity to the physicians who did not want to be identified out of fear of reprisal. And I want to just stop right there of that excerpt. So the other day we talked about, some weeks ago, when nurse was suspended, about how bad it was. And now today we see in the front page of The Guardian, doctors now having to speak out on how bad it is. We often talk about the poor quality of service we get from the hospital. But did we ever stop to look at the other side of this thing? How these healthcare professionals who are working countless hours don't have the equipment needed, the supplies needed to carry out the basic functions of their jobs. And they are humans too, working in the worst conditions. They're frustrated, and they're frustrated rightfully so, because they want to help. They want to serve us. I would think, as they swore to do no harm, that they want to give Bahamians the best possible service that they can give them, saving as many lives as they can, caring for as many persons as they can. But with a lack of resources, how are they supposed to do this? The government is now proposing to build this new hospital. And there's been many concerns surrounding it, but it seems that they're going to continue to go forward. And I say that hospital is needed, but some of the concerns that are raised are relevant. They should be answered. I also think that that hospital, that's the new hospital that is going to be built, is a long-term plan. What is our plan in the short and medium term to help our people along? Because if another pandemic hits the world this week, the new hospital hasn't been constructed yet. How do we care for our people in a situation where if it rains too hard, parts of the hospital, they have to move patients' beds? Are we just so consumed and out to happy hour that we're not even concerned with what's happening in the health care sector? There's been so much pushback. And I couldn't help but notice the government, there was a story as well in The Guardian saying how much revenue just within the first quarter maybe of the year, I'm going to look for that story, that the government collected in VAT. They collect all this money in VAT. I think it was more money than they actually needed to build the hospital that they collected in value-added tax from some 152 major firms and companies. Yet we have to borrow monies to construct a new hospital on the backs of the Bahamian people. I want to get to some of your... Okay, that text was, I guess, for me not to read out loud. This texter says, no, Gabby. All you have to say is COI and Lincoln Bean. All your male colleagues get ands and pants when those names are called. It's so weak to me. I don't understand. Texter, I don't know. This texter says, I'm a 74-year-old man. I have health issues. I don't ever want to visit ever again. PMH. It's a disaster. No prime minister wants to go in there. Why are we building a $3 million hospital for only Haitian women and Haitian children? That's what this texter says. And the second we bring up, like I said, the H of healthcare, the other H comes into play. We have Bahamians saying our healthcare system is overburdened and overran with illegal immigrants because we can't deny them access to healthcare. And then we have all week, I would hope for you to go with me on this. All week we have persons talking about, as the citizenry, talking about issues that concern them. And we have candidates from numerous political parties silent as a lamb on these issues. These are the people seeking to represent us in Parliament. But you cannot even get them on their social media pages and platforms to present a single issue to lobby for anything or anyone outside of something that personally benefits themselves. It costs you nothing to say, I went into X constituency and I spoke with the people and this is how they're feeling. Are you aware that you are applying to be a legislator? That's your job as a member of parliament? to enact laws that help your people, yet many of you sit on the sideline waiting to be ushered into government with nothing to offer. But Carl, I'm going to invite you to the conversation. Welcome to Guardian Radio today.
Hey, Grace, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay, and you? Okay, I actually applaud the workers at PMH, right? Because let's just put it this way, let's just be real with one another. That's the worst place ever to work. But yet, they work hard, long hours, and also they are not equipped with the materials needed to do the job, and they still end up going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I really applaud them, even though the conditions is a doo-doo. Basically, let's just be real. Everyone know no one wants to go to PMH. From 40 years ago, no one wants to go to PMH. Right?
You think we should
Second
make,
thing-
think we should make, I want to ask you a question while I have you on the line. Do you think we should make it whereas our representatives have to go to public hospitals, we don't provide them with the cushy insurances? You think that would make them more inclined to make sure that the public healthcare facilities are up to par?
Okay, no. See, it's a stigma attached to PMH. Right now, we have a mental stigma attached to it. From you as younger, right? When your mother carry you there, if you go visit someone, right? What's the first thing your mother say? Oh, baby, don't touch the door. Cover your mouth. Don't make sure kick the door. You know when you go to PMH, you can kick the door now. You ain't no one to put their hand on that door. So it's just a stigma attached to it. The second thing I'll make a note on, because I show you what the call is, right? The new hospital, I'm 100% guaranteed the government is going to make sure that's the state-of-the-art facilities. And Chinese, they can make sure that's platinum. But the problem is what takes place 3 to 4 years after it's built, the maintenance. We don't maintain things in this country. The ping they drop off the wall is no longer going to be a priority for maintenance. So I really want the government to have contractors or subcontractors leased probably every 3 months to properly maintain stuff pertaining to a new building. Because look what happened in the stadium.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If I was a Chinese and I give you a stadium and that look like that, I can take some, I can dig a big hole and carry my stadium back. I be real with you.
Yeah, the maintenance budget is usually the first. If you follow, thank you so much for your call, caller. If you follow the budget debates across budget cycles, oftentimes when governments are looking to cut back on spending and shave off some money and reallocate funds, maintenance is the first thing with slash. We ain't gonna paint this here, we going there. We ain't gonna fix this thing, we could kick it down, we could wait. And the maintenance budget, boom, boom, boom. And before you know it, what is a brand new building is deteriorated right before our eyes. But caller, you're live on Guardian Radio today. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm
Good job.
excellent.
Allow me, please, to just comment Mr. Lang on the show today. I think he was right on, and he was, fair. Not saying he don't usually be fair, but he was fair today. I appreciated that. But let me say something to you also. You're one of the newest hosts there, right?
Yeah, I'm just guest hosting
yeah.
until
You.
yeah.
Let me be real with you. I was not really a big fan of yours, but I'm starting to come around now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you. I wouldn't say behave, but I would say you push a better program in your loan. I don't know what God does do to you. But like today, your show is great. Your show is good today. I'm enjoying it. But you said the 2 H words is Haitian and homosexual.
That gets Bohemians heated.
Yeah. But you say also healthcare and the hospital. The caller before the last, I think he said he don't want to go to the PMH or nothing. It's not law when you sick you go to the PMH. You don't have to go there.
No, you don't.
You don't have in law say when you sick you have to go to PMH. So you don't want to go. You don't have to go, my friend. But if that's all we have for now to work with, I go there. I'm not pleased with the service. I'm not pleased with the upkeep of the hospital. If I could afford to go someplace else, I think I might have gone there.
And
but,
that's
you know,
the key thing.
and people are making noise about this new hospital that they're building.
Mm-hmm.
You said something, if we have a pandemic tomorrow, you know, what benefit would that help us?
That's a long-term plan.
Can I say we are one day closer from yesterday to today than getting the new hospital than day before yesterday?
Caller, I want you to understand where I stand on the new hospital. We need another hospital facility. We need one.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
I also want us, so that's the long-term plan. So when setting goals, we need a short and a medium-term plan. So that's what I want to figure out.
They already got the loan approved yesterday. They already got everything sorted out.
Mm-hmm.
You want them to go and buy a building and just turn it into a hospital?
No, follow me here. What I'm asking is, what is our short-term and medium-term plan to aid with the facility of what we have? Because if tomorrow some epidemic, pandemic, anything breaks out, we have the Princess Margaret Hospital. That's where we have to go.
Yeah,
That's what we have to use. So it still needs to be functional. So is it that we're going to just, of some of this money that we're borrowing, are we going to invest in getting supplies? Because we still need the nurses. Them are still saying they don't have supplies.
Some of that money you could follow the Princess Margaret Hospital while we're building this new hospital.
So that's where I'm saying I don't differ in the fact that we need another hospital facility. I don't disagree on that.
You being a woman and a wife, you would benefit from this new hospital more than me being a man.
I totally agree. Okay. So what I'm saying though, and thank you so much for your call.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate it. So, but what I'm saying is, I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying to you that that's the long-term plan. We need a short and a medium-term plan. Caller, I'm going to take a first break of the show, and I'll get right back to you. We'll be right back. This is Guardian Radio Today with Gabby.
Explore a beautifully preserved 1930s Bahamian colonial home on William and Shirley Street filled with antiques, collectibles, rare coins, stamps, furniture, vinyl records, and pieces from the Windsor Hotel. Join our private auction Friday, December 5th, 1 to 5 p.m. Register for $50 at bahamasliquidation.com or WhatsApp 557-2522. Enjoy early catalogue access, complimentary drinks, and a private house tour. Then don't miss the free public auction Saturday, December 6th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Card payment only. Delivery available for both events. Register now. Baker's Estate Auction. Preserving the past, one treasure at a time.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Caring for the poor, homeless, and hurting since 1987. You are invited to support their Stop and Drop program by dropping off some food items in their barrels and some cash in their bottles. You can donate an offering each month or pay your tithes online to Great Commission through the Givelify or SunCash apps. Help them to shelter the homeless, feed the hungry, and spread the gospel of Christ. Volunteer your service and support the Live to Give program. Call Great Commission Ministries, God's Storehouse at 325-5801 for further information or stop by the office on Wolf Road. Be blessed.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Hey,
96.9 FM Guardian Radio today. It is a Think on These Things Tuesday. Thursday. Oh Lord, I live in a bath. It's a Think on These Things Thursday. There's so much things for us to think on. And Texas, I see you. The phone lines are lit up. So I won't keep you any longer. But we're talking about the front page story of the Guardian newspapers, which speaks to our hospital. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Guardian Radio today.
Hey, Gabby, how you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Awesome. Listen, let me just touch base with the person who called in about the stigma about PMH. Mm-hmm. I can safely tell you that PMH back in the 70s and 80s, in fact, my mother, God rest her soul, has been a nurse or was a nurse in that hospital for over 40 years. I've had the opportunity to walk those wards with her on numerous occasions, just being a student in junior and senior high school. And back then, the PMH did not have a stigma about coming into that hospital because that hospital was treated as a premier or as a premier hospital. Mm-hmm. In fact, my fondest memories has always been at PMH that when you approach the hospital and you start to walk in there, listen, the scent of Dettol and the cleaning disinfectants was so prominent that sometimes you used to hate walking in the hospital because you didn't want to walk up with the hospital scent all on you. That's what we used to call it. So PMH had its heyday. Now, where it is today is a totally different matter. You know, you talk about maintenance of things, especially things that belong to the Bahamian people, which despises is a pet peeve for many of us. You know, we just feel that successive governments have not paid particular attention to the taxpayers' monies in terms of maintenance and preventive maintenance of these buildings. Mm-hmm. Use the stadium just now as a classic example. My question would be, well, you know, if the Chinese came here and they built that stadium, I'm pretty sure that it would be foolhardy just to let the Chinese maintain it without a Bahamian component. So who are the Bahamians who would have been trained to maintain that facility in the absence of the Chinese?
Matter of fact, there were Bahamians involved in the architectural process in the building as well. So while the Chinese helped us to facilitate that, there were a lot of Bahamians involved in it. So the thing is, like I said, the maintenance budget, when you look at budgets passed, it's usually the first to be slashed when you're looking for, we need to reallocate some money somewhere else.
So it goes back to what I said before. Successive governments are guilty of the atrocity that we have in front of us right now. It isn't the matter that the monies weren't there, you know. It's that they took the monies and utilized the monies elsewhere in other budgets to facilitate the other budgets. But our buildings in particular, and this is the pain in the Achilles heel. The mere fact here is that the Bahamian people own buildings all over, especially in Nassau and New Providence. Mm-hmm. And yet these buildings have been allowed to go in a disarray, but yet we are renting other people's buildings. Mm-hmm. Okay? Instead of maintaining the buildings that is the taxpayers' buildings. So what is the crux behind that? But I'll close on this one point. You see, we are so gung-ho about political parties, mm-hmm. and whereas they have their right to exist and everything, but when it comes down to nationhood, nation building, and preserving the things of the taxpayer, that is a totally different dynamic away from political parties. All of these parties that have held governance in this country should have ensured that the assets of the Bahamian people were maintained to a quality standard that today they should not be in disrepair. And lastly, you know, we need more than one more hospital. We need at least 2 more hospitals, major hospitals in New Providence proper, and also a couple of satellite major hospitals in our family islands. So our family islanders, they do not necessarily have to fly all the way to New Providence. They can go to one of the satellite major hospitals.
We need to spread them out throughout the geofence. Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Listen, we have to spread out healthcare as well. So while this project is great for New Providence, We have to decentralize things because not everybody wants to have to come or have to be airlift. And for some islands, when you're talking about coming from Inagua, an over hour, 45-minute flight to be airlifted from Inagua to the capital. So we need something in the south. We need the Rand Memorial down there in Grand Bahama. We need that up and running. We need all of these things up and running so the hospital in Grand Bahama can service those to the north. We have the Central Bahamas. We have 2 major hospitals that are operational, functioning in the capital island of New Providence. And then we have something in the south, a major medical facility that can facilitate those family islanders. And when we do that, we're going to see the economic impacts of it. Because one of the things that investors look for is how far is a major hospital if my guest or whomever, whatever investment I'm doing in the Bahamas, how far is the nearest hospital for people to get to? Caller, go ahead. You're live on Guardian Radio today with Gabby.
Hi, good afternoon, Gabby. How are you today?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Would you agree that the Princess Margaret Hospital is more than 70-plus years old?
Yes.
Okay. Shoaga Lang said it eloquently today. The government has passed a resolution to borrow some funds to build the new hospital, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they also had borrowed some money earlier for the maintenance and the renovation of parts of our existing hospital, right? I would like for you to do a survey, Gabby. Do a survey around the Caribbean. See which one of those Caribbean hospitals is on par with the hospital here at Princess Margaret, which is more than 70-plus years old. Okay? And then the Bahamian people understand how good they have it in their country. Although the hospital needs some renovation, I think it needs a little bit more...
Hold on, turn your radio down.
Sorry about that. I think it needs a little bit more tender love care, right? But in the meantime, Bahamians are forgetting one thing, We're still a third world country with first world status. This is why the government is now intending to build another new hospital in New Providence, one in Grand Bahama, and also this new group that's on board now is intending to the clinic and Exuma, which is almost like a mini hospital, is intending to have a helicopter service from those southeastern family islands to take those patients to Exuma instead of transport them right here to Nassau. So I think it's some good idea. Let's see how quick it could come to fruition. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your call, caller. And listen, the building of the hospital is not a bad idea. We need it. We need the facility. We definitely need it. What my question is, like a lot of other Bahamians' question is, what do we do? The accident and emergency section, that renovation started some 8 years ago, maybe more, has not been completed yet. Monies were already borrowed for that, to complete that. When can we look forward to seeing some progress that, hey, what we have, we're trying to work with it. We're trying to make it better. Yes, we are a third world developing nation. But how long do you have to stay that way? With the amount of resources that we have here, with the amount of information, the access that we have, with America so close, with China so willing to give us and help us with all these resources, do we have to stay in that status? Are we prepared to do what we have to do to dig ourselves out of that? Caller, go ahead. You're live on Guardian Radio today.
Hello.
Hi. Turn your radio down. You're live.
Gabby.
Hi.
It's Grammy Boy.
Hi, Grammy Boy.
Yeah.
I almost had your girl on today.
You sound a little far, though.
I sound far?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. I sound better? April, how I sound?
Yeah, you sound a little better.
Okay.
It's amazing, Gabby. How selfish, how stinking selfish these political pundits are for the success of political parties. Once they're tail in the hole, they don't give $5 for nobody else. It's amazing. They will call these shows and make a case for something they know is total nonsense.
Wow.
You hear me, Gabby?
Yes, sir.
They will make a case for nonsense just to support their political party rather than try to help a nation build this place. Put those parties aside within the 4 or 5 years and let's try to build this place. Maternity hospital, that is not a maternity hospital. That's a glorified or brand new maternity clinic. You know what a hospital comprises of? The various sections, and when you call it a hospital, that is a maternity and a children's clinic or ward. That's all that is.
So it's an extension of a hospital.
An extension. And when you see whistleblowers like myself, because I have to attend the hospital, see, maybe these pundits don't have to go there. But when people like myself have to attend those hospitals and we bring awareness to the conditions, because I did several videos of awareness with Dr. MacGyver and them on the condition of that hospital. And you know what they do to persons like us? They brush us aside. They put on us. They threaten you. Yes, they did. Several times they threatened me. Oh, shut your mouth. That is what they did to Sister Pearl Williams. Shut your mouth. And that is why the doctors have to do what they're doing from a hidden perspective. Because everybody walking around the hospital wants to be politically correct or medically correct and sticking up their nose in the hospital that has been condemned from 92. And you can't get out the Bahamians with their political parties say, yes, my party is FNM or PLP, but the hospital is a mess.
Yeah.
Because they ain't got to go there.
It has nothing to do with party politics.
Yeah, but sadly, and it's sad. It is sad. That hospital is a mess. I gone to go to the ATM yesterday. One of the ladies had to push me to the front ATM. And I asked her, well, what is garbage doing in the middle of the floor in the main hallway? Catching water. Catching water. That hospital is condemned. And these politicians ain't tried, like, what do you call it, say, to build a brand new hospital, Gabi. It's sad. It is sad. Now people don't go to PMH now to try to get better. They go to try to get some medication and hope they don't die.
Medication that they ordinarily have. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your call, Grammy Boy. Appreciate it always. Listen, and you talk about going for medication. Half of the time, the pharmacy don't have what you need. So you better have some money so you could go down to one pharmacy down the road to get those critical medication that you need. Because I can tell you, they've said, listen, we only can give you what we got. This is Guardian Radio Today. We'll be right back after this break.
Step inside the John Baptiste Jazz Club at Baha Mar, where the rhythm of the islands of the Bahamas meets the soul of New Orleans. Every night, the lights dim, the music swells, and the air fills with that unmistakable energy, the kind that makes you close your eyes and just feel. Savor signature cocktails, curated small plates, and live performances from world-class musicians, all in an intimate, artfully designed space where every seat has a story. Whether it's a romantic night out or a spontaneous evening with friends, this is where you want to be. The John Baptiste Jazz Club, only at Baha Mar. Reserve your table now at bahamar.com/jazz club or through the Baha Mar app, because every evening plays its own tune.
1 in every 4 Bahamians face some level of food insecurity. AML Foods remains committed to helping, and this year, through our Feed 5,000 program, will donate $50,000 to provide holiday meals for families in need. But we need your help. From November 3rd to December 17th, show your support and donate at the register at Solomon's, Cost Right, Fresh Markets, Eleuthera Markets, Exuma Markets, or Domino's Pizza in New Providence, Grand Bahama, or Exuma. Together, let's put an end to hunger.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
Today. 96.9 FM Guardian Radio Today. Gabby in your company. Listen, the phone lines are lit up. I'm not going to keep you callers waiting. So caller, welcome to Guardian Radio Today. Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there? We lost that caller. Next caller. Next caller, welcome to Guardian Radio Today. Caller? Caller, welcome to Guardian Radio Today.
Hello, good day, Gabby.
Good day, how are you?
How are you? This issue with having a hospital in one of the family islands that will accommodate the Bahamian population is very easy to happen with being able to donate land for a hospital, and a hospital with its own private runway will be very easy to happen right in the constituency of Cat Island, Rum Cay, and San Salvador, particularly in San Salvador, because the leader of this nation doesn't really have much concern about health care or anything to this nation. Let me just say,
do you live in San Sal?
Left land in San Salvador. In fact, over 4,500 acres of land in San Salvador. Now, to donate 50 acres of land to a hospital with its own runway in between Coburn Town and Sugarloaf, San Salvador, with an airstrip that runs parallel with the existing airstrip in Coburn Town. It is like zero just to have the land donated to put a hospital with its own airstrip. Okay? And I'm talking, if they are serious, they always talk about how much money has to be spent for land, and that is something that is in my mind to do in San Salvador. And right now, there is basically daily flights to the regular runway in San Salvador for the general public. You see, when you talk about don't care, I want the Prime Minister to put that in his coffer as to what can happen for the Bahamian people. And when they spoke last year about talking about one little $2.5 million in the budget for some clean cocaine to take care of Bahamian government workers going to the family island is a drop in the bucket. So this is in PLP, this is in FNM, this is in COI, or independent or non-voters concerned. So let me say to the Bahamian people, when I speak on nationalism, and to my cousins who don't even understand what they own in San Salvador, this is Dennis Battle speaking to the nation. So we can have these things done and think about how much money they just spend for a little swamp land to do this specialty clinic in Nassau.
Thank
we
you.
will talk later.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much,
thanks to
Mr.
the
Battle.
nation for listening.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. Texters, I see you. I want to get this last phone call in before we have to go to the news break. Go ahead, caller. You're live on Guardian Radio today.
Hey, what's happening, Gabby?
Right here.
I think people need to realize and understand also this is not a hospital with a billing. This is a specialty clinic. Not any, if you fall down, break your leg, you can't go there.
Wow.
Secondly, how long you think it'll be before this building become another dilapidated building? This clinic become another dilapidated building. So now we'll have a hospital and another clinic that's fallen into disrepair.
So there's not an accident and emergency wing that's going to be at this hospital.
No, if you fall down, break your leg, you can't go there.
Wow.
Now, if you're pregnant, you could go there.
So then this still doesn't serve the purpose of servicing the West. Because if you have an emergency, are the ambulance going to be able to drop you off there?
I mean, if you're in labor, yeah. But if you fall down, break a leg, or if you're in a car accident, you better try. I'll go to Princess. You know, and let me just show you how serious this government, this present administration is about healthcare in the Bahamas. I listened to the House of Assembly yesterday. Doing Crazy Thompson presentation to MP for East Grand Mama. He said that the F&M government left $90 million in the bank to build a new hospital.
I heard Dr. Minnis. I heard Dr. Minnis mention it as well. I heard. I listened to Dr. Hubert, a portion of Dr. Hubert Minnis's contribution as well, and he mentioned the funds that were left, and the government went ahead and scrapped the project.
F&M left in the bank. Dr. Doolittle gave the money back. He gave the money back. The money there. Ain't like that to do paperwork to get the money in the central bank. They gave the money back. Another example. In Grand Bahama, they bought the property to Freeport Inn Hotel next door to the Rand Memorial Hospital. They bought the building. They tore it down. They was going to build a new hospital. You know what the PLP administration did? They built a cafeteria on the building, on the property. A cafeteria on the property. Instead of building more beds, they built a cafeteria for people to go eat.
Wow.
So this administration, the money which you guys spend on that clinic, put it into maintenance of the Princess Margaret Hospital. Build a proper hospital, not a specialty clinic. Build a proper hospital.
Thank you so much for your call, caller. I appreciate it. Can we get this last call in before the news break? Caller, you're live on Guardian Radio today.
Gabby, how you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Wonderful. So, Gabby, tell me something. Where's all the monies, the $90 million? Where did it go? And can the PLP be held accountable and sued by the government? I mean, sued by the opposition for irresponsible money? Because when are we going to now make people accountable and responsible? If the party mishandled the money or the money is gone and stolen, why is it that we just let everything die away and nobody is held
I don't think the
responsible?
money is gone or stolen. When a new government comes in with a new mandate, they set their own budget. So this government decided that what was left on the table by the previous administration, that they wanted to allocate those funds in different areas.
Can I tell you why, Gabby?
Why is that, caller?
Because if I have a contract already done with a contractor, or if I have a budget and I've already set that aside, when the new person comes in, they dismantle that. You know why they dismantle it? They dismantle it because now they can take it and do what they want and not be responsible. All I'm asking is, when is it that the PLP is going to be responsible and give an account for all the monies that are missing? Mr. Pintard spoke about some of the areas where the monies are missing. I have yet to hear the Prime Minister say where the monies are. Thank you very much, Gabby.
Thank you so much for your call. Listen, I want to get in some of these texts before we have to go to the news break. This texter says, Gabby, this PLP government is robbing us and our unborn children blind in taxes. Wake up, Bahamians, before it's too late. Know what to do when they ring that bell. that is coming in from the text line. This next texter says, "Hi, Gabby. The janitorial staff at PMH can't clean, boy. They are there all day, but it never smells clean. The floor, the walls, and the baseboards are filthy. Maybe is it because, like the article in The Guardian says, these people do not have the supplies. They lack the cleaning supplies. They're short on things. I could tell you for a fact, when my mother was in there, we bring the Lysol, we bring the spray, we bring everything to clean her area and make sure, because like the nurse told me, Mackenzie, we don't have it. We don't have it, Gabby. We don't have it." This next texter says, "I also applaud doctors who spoke out. It is sad they had to do it anonymously because of fear of punishment. And I agree that most of the babies born in PMH are to foreign women. I've seen it for myself. Most of the patients in PMH are adults. Why not build that? I think that new hospital..." Where are we? "I've seen it for myself. Why not build that? I think that new hospital is being built for some politician family who wants to have a baby in a state-of-the-art facility without having to go away or pay $5,000 up. I mean, that's a far time. They would then, by the time that hospital get built, I mean, this is a planned pregnancy, Wally? Like, I think that's a far stretch, Dexter." Listen, you're listening to Guardian Radio today, and we're talking about the state of our health care. The new hospital, the government has approved the borrowing resolution for this $201 million China loan that we, the Bahamian people, have to pay back. But listen, we're going to go to a news break, and we'll be right back to chop it up some more. This is Guardian Radio Today with Gabby. We'll be back after the news.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM.
.9 FM Guardian Radio Today. Listen, that's Happy Hour by Visage and Wendy. Listen, I love that song. It just makes me feel so good to be Bahamian. I love something about Bahamian music. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. Once you hear that rake and scrape beat, once you hear that junkanoo, that you just got to move. Something in you. It don't matter how mad you are. Something in your body, the rhythm is going to take over. I just want to shout out, I have to always shout out the listeners, you, the callers, the texters, the viewers of Guardian Radio Today. And I didn't do that at the top of the show, which I usually do. So I want to send a special hello to Mr. Garth Roseborough. And, I always have to, anytime I get the opportunity to say thank you, whose stead I sit in, as well as the Guardian Radio team. I want to spend a special shout out to all of the regular listeners and callers, everyone that's tuned in all around down there at Sydney's shop on Market Street, EB, all of you that take the time out and choose the station for fresh news, smart talk all day. So text us. I did promise when we come back from the news, I was going to get to some more of your texts. This text says, healthcare in the Bahamas is deplorable. The government doesn't have a national healthcare plan. They don't care. How about they build a facility to, I guess that text is incomplete, texter. This next text says, another year of gangsterism make the rich richer and keep taking from the poor until there is nothing left to take. Bahamians don't care about blank until we become like our counterparts in the South. It ain't long now when they kiss it. PLP and F&M trolls run out. It won't last forever. I assume that is a COI supporter. I have to sanitize that text. That text was what Davin say. Sometimes we have to sit here and sanitize the text, and sometimes I try to sanitize them while I read them. So texters, please, let's try to refrain from using profanity because we cannot read it on the air. So if you do not want your text to be disregarded, please refrain from using profanity. Thank you so much. This text says, Gabby, the bill the government wants to pass is garbage and the PLPs is lacking knowledge. That's coming in from a texter. This texter says, I was at PMH several weeks ago in A&E with a cabinet minister who had her father in A&E, and she was saying how she did not know PMH was in such a bad state. She also said that she would talk to the PM about what she saw and what she experienced at the hospital. I tell you, I feel like it needs to be mandatory. Like they need to be mandated. Like when you come in, there are some places that you have to go. You may have never gone there before, but there are some places that you have to go if you wish to represent the people, if you wish to sit in cabinet, if you are making laws and legislation that affect these people, if you're borrowing money to do things that affect the lives of Bahamians. One of them is you got to walk in that hospital. I ain't talking about just a little pump and pageantry tour. I'm talking about seeing the nooks and cranny, the day-to-day, seeing the supply storage facility where the doctors and nurses have to go, seeing the pharmacy that hardly has medication on the shelves for the persons there. When you're discharged, most of the time, the doctors give you a prescription and you're able, most times, if they have the medication, they provide it to you from the pharmacy at PMH. But oftentimes you'll have people, I ain't got no money, and they say they don't have this medication. So what do I do? So you come out of the hospital and then people say, oh, well, they didn't receive good care. They received the top quality care. But they weren't able to afford the medication. The pharmacy didn't have the medication. So when the patient was released, they couldn't continue with their treatment. But caller, you're live on Guardian Radio today.
Yes, good day.
Good day. How are you?
Not bad. Pertaining to the hospital, right? You talk about the amount of money that we was borrowing, and you felt like we are collecting up taxes. Mm-hmm. Just VAT tax alone, you know, to foot that bill, right? But look at the excuse we use to do what they call PPPs. You know what I mean? And the PPP is just another way of privatizing, you know what I mean, the government privatizing things to to special interests. You understand? Wow. We like with BPL and things, with electricity and with telco and all the public assets. They quick to privatize those. Through this PPP excuse. You know what I mean? Like PPP.
Private-public partnerships.
Right. You see what I'm saying? They try to hide the privatization that says it's a partnership with us, with the public. And at the time, the public, we are citizens in the Bahamas. We are automatic partners. So they selling out us. You know what I mean? To special interests, to the oligarchs. So and then look at the hospital, right? Look at the what you call it, the operators, the theater, right? Mm-hmm. The operations that go on that theater, I would think that the vast majority of those are private patients for many of the same doctors who work at PMH. You understand me? The facilities is top rated. You understand me? But then the public patients, they gotta have these long lines. They got these long waiting lines. You see the other day, someone looking for a GoFundMe to do a procedure, oral procedure or something in a private sector because they don't have the wait. They can't stay too long to wait to get the procedure done just to not to be in pain.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So it's all about special interests. You see, and you know that the thing in the Constitution called deprivation. You know, you have people on other shows, and then they talk the Constitution, this and Constitution that. The deprivation to them is potholes, not getting the road fixed. You know what I mean? That's what they call
different
deprivation.
people, different priorities, Carla.
Right. You see, you what about deprivation, being deprived of livable wage? You understand me? Or health care, you know what I mean? See, okay, look at primary health care. Primary health care, that's a private thing too. That's a PPP. Why we can't have primary health care in the public system? You understand what I'm saying? It's these same private institutions they get involved in primary health care.
Thank you.
What are we doing?
Thank you so much for your call. I appreciate it. Listen, the thing about it is, and this is what I said, healthcare is a fundamental right of Bahamians, a people of humanity. Maslow's hierarchy of needs tells us the basic. That's the basic. People need access. Food, shelter, clothing, health care. Just the basic things that people need access to. They need access to treatment, to medication, to these things. So this is a top priority. It has to be. All of the countries that you see doing well, there are a few things that are top priorities to them for their citizens. One of them being education and the other being healthcare. You take care of the health of your people, the wealth of your people will surely follow. Caller, you're live on Guardian Radio today.
Gabby.
Hi.
Sorry, GNN had to call back. Desmond hit the nails kind of on the head just now. Let me tell you what PMH has turned into over the last several years. Princess Margaret Hospital has turned into a front desk operation for soliciting private business by a lot of those physicians. You hear me? And let me qualify why GNN can tell you that. Because I broke my leg, I fractured my femur. I have a little condition there. I'm seeing 3 orthopedics doctors there. They tell me PMH don't have the facility or the equipment to fix the leg, but if I can come up with $50,000, I can go private. Same thing with the eye doctor on Soldier Road, the eye doctor's there. When you get there, they tell you the machines aren't working, but if you could come to their clinic, they'll give you a letter to take the health social services to get a reduction in price. And that's all over the hospital. That is why they neglecting to fix that hospital.
Because then
the doctors and some of the ministers are in cahoots with fleecing the Bahamian people.
Thank you so much for your call, caller. Listen, because it's no way that the same doctors, there's a lot of the same doctors, when you go over to the private institution, is there giving you the same, they swore an oath to do no harm. So is it because the intention is for you to pay money or pay more money to come see me at my private practice? Or is it because at the private practice, they have all the tools that they need, they have all the medication they need, all the supplies that they need to properly treat you? Or is it, as the caller just brought to our attention, is it all just a scheme to get you to pay more money? Caller, you're live on Guardian Radio today. Caller, are you there? We lost that caller? Next caller. Caller, you're live on Guardian Radio today. Turn on your radio for me, please.
All right. So, yeah, I was listening to this person just now. I got to say, well, first of all, the doctors, for the most part, they have no control over what the government purchases in regards to equipment. I think we should really come down on the doctors and the staff at the hospital too much. They're doing the best that they can do with what they have. Mm-hmm. Now, if I see that there's a gap, and I see that the government system does not have a piece of equipment, I'm going to try to provide it because, of course, I have my private practice as well as my public practice, which doctors are entitled to, right? Mm-hmm. So if I get the equipment and the government still does not get the equipment to provide it to the public sector people, I'm going to provide it to them over on my side. This is how it is. But I wouldn't say that the doctors are intentionally not providing a service to the patients so that they could benefit from it secondarily, because the facility just doesn't have it. I wouldn't blame the doctors. I think the politics, for the life of me, I can't understand why the government cannot have equipment that is necessary for the public's health. And then for extended time periods, so like a whole year, I don't understand that. How broke is the government?
It's the X-ray. I'm not certain if you would be aware, but it's the X-ray machine back up. I know they were down for quite a while, quite some time.
Yeah, I think they're still down.
Oh my gosh!
But that goes out. You see, the thing is, the listed administration and doctors at the hospital, they make recommendations all the time for what they need. They don't hold the purse strings. Mm-hmm. They can't get these things on their own. They have to shoot it up to the minister, right? And then what happens is they're the ones that end up looking bad. The administrative staff and the doctors end up looking bad when they're not the ones who hold the purse strings.
Wow. Thank you so much for your call, caller. Listen, so it goes back to what we started off saying today. That it's not that the doctors don't want to care for us. It's not that they don't want to provide us with the best possible service. But when you need an MRI and they saying, we don't have an MRI machine, but I decided to invest in one at my private practice. And what I can do for you, because I care about you so much and your health so much, I can try and get you some help and render you some assistance and offer you it at a discounted cost. Because these doctors recognize that, hey, there was a business opportunity in it, and you can't knock them for that. There's a business opportunity in the fact that the government is falling down, derelict on their duties to make sure that the necessary equipment is there. But at my private practice where I'm operating, I'm going to make sure that I have everything there to facilitate the best possible care. I want to get back to some of your texts. This text says, good afternoon, Gabby. Compliments of the season. After reading the story in today's Tribune regarding the government's $39 million purchase of Doctors Hospital Harborside property, I'm curious as to how they went about it. Was the property appraised before purchase? Was the deal fair? If I'm not mistaken, that property is formerly red carpet in a modest-sized property. To me, the price tag seems a bit much. That's coming in from a texter. The texter says, good day. Hospital is a great idea, but poor timing. There is no coherent for healthcare, as evidenced by the state of PMH and clinics. If you are to go in debt, then let's do it, making better with what we already have. This texter says, every talk show is about the hospital. So sad. Listen, texter, the thing about it is we talk about on these shows, we bring light to what people want a voice to say. And if it's on the front page of the newspaper, if it's on everyone's mind when they have to go there, when they have to walk into these facilities, then that's what we're going to have to talk about. We're going to talk about it until it is fixed. We're going to talk about it until it's corrected. That's what lobbying is about. That's what activism is about. It's not necessarily about going guns a-blazing down somewhere trying to fight someone down, but it's about bringing awareness, because oftentimes it's when enough person voices are raised and we finally say together, the majority of us, enough is enough. This is what we want as a people. That is when the needle starts to move in this country. This texter says, this just further confirms that this administration is looking after their voting bloc, which is the Haitian community. After all, only them having babies anyway. Is that a fair thing to say, texter? Is that a fair thing to say? There are many Bahamians still having children at the Princess Margaret Hospital. This texter says, Gabby, I want to share my experience. I went to visit my aunt at PMH about a month ago, and I was greeted by both Mickey and Minnie Mouse. These rats were so big, I initially thought they were Tasmanian devils. Oh my. And in the article in The Guardian today talks about the leaks, rodents, and lack of supplies that these persons have to face. Let's get these callers in before we have to take another break. Caller, you're live on Guardian Radio today.
Hey, great show, Mom. Okay, I think that we shouldn't put that on the doctors, right? Because when we say that they are not really paying attention to people because they have the private practice, right? Because we're actually saying that they're practicing malfeasance. So I wouldn't really put that on the doctors. That's some sick stuff if that's what they're doing, right? But second thing, right? I have a question. Why do PMH, I know about the MRI machines, they're expensive, right? But how come oxygen emergency, like, always never have beds? I never understood that part. You realize people is being in a chair, always oxygen emergency?
I realize it. I realize it.
I've also heard on numerous occasions, right, seriously, that people come in there with a headache, right? And because the fact that since they didn't have a gunshot wound, right, they actually end up dying.
Wow.
Based on the fact that they probably had like a brain tumor or something, just because the doctors themselves didn't see it as preferential treatment because of the gunshot victims, right? The people end up dying.
Thank you so much for your call, caller. Listen, the thing about it is, this is what we were talking about earlier, the accident and emergency repair. That started some now. I think this is going on 8 years. Why we can't get that wing open? If it's one thing I would love for the life of me to see open after almost a decade, it's that accident and emergency wing, because I cannot stand to see people for hours. I'm talking about sometimes up to 48 hours, 2 days, 3 days, still in a chair, waiting for a bed. I'm talking about they didn't band. The doctors have already seen them. They've already decided that they need to be admitted. But guess what? Ain't nowhere for you to go. Ain't no temporary bed even for you to lay down. So you just need to sit in this chair until we find some corner to put you in. We got to get that accident emergency block open. We've invested too much Bahamian dollars into it already for it to still be closed. Caller, you're live on Guardian Radio today. Caller, call back. I'm going to get to some more of your text messages. This texter says, good day, Gabby. The texter was so correct. The hospital is overwhelmed with Haitian women every day. It's a mess, and it's like we're catering to only them. Do you know that there was a Haitian lady that came into the Bahamas heavy down and full-term pregnant and had to go straight to PMH in labor? I thought they don't let you travel after a certain trimester, Wadi. Do we stop persons from coming in? If you are so far along, we don't allow you to enter. You can't pass customs and immigration, because at this point you could have the child in the air. We usually don't allow that. This person says, question, can immigration officers be stationed at the hospital? I'll continue to listen. Caller, you're live on Guardian Radio today.
Yes, Good afternoon, Gabby. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Long time you know here.
I know,
I hope
right?
Mom is doing good. And out of the piddle.
Yes,
that's
she's doing much
it's
better.
just a prefix now. Piddle, okay? You know, of course I'm upset with the political dupe. I think during the by-election, I saw a very obese supporter, right? Who seems more concerned about politics than his health, right? But there's a reason why I say hospital, cemetery, and jail. Because, you know, we all go down that path. You may dug the jail, you may dug the hospital, and eventually we all come to a demise, dumb or wise. All right? But we cannot live through these lies. All right, Gabby? I'm sorry if I am offending anybody, but we come first. I listen to GNN every now and then, right? Now, for me, I want to just make a little interjection in this conversation about the hospital, the mold, the mildews, etc., right? But nobody's talking about mold-resistant, specialized, antimicrobial ceiling tiles designed for hygiene requirements in hospitals, etc., etc. So these things are possible in which you can buy these tiles, and this would stop the mold and mildew, given the fact that you will always have mold and mildew because of temperature deviations, water leaks, etc., etc. So the fact that you're not hearing, all right, let's say they're building a new hospital, right, Gabby? Now, you know, I used to work in engineering, and so I have little ideas as to what causes mold, all right? Like I said, there are compounding factors. You will always have water leaks, but you have to be able to get rid of the condensation. And so the fact that every maintenance man knows through the king is imperial that you must clear the condensation line. Even your AC in the home, I do it because once it starts to come back through the evaporator. So this is nothing new. It's just that what happens is I worked in engineering, and I ain't telling no lie, and I used to work in the boiler room. And I could train guys in boiler works, all right? And let me tell you something. We used to bypass a lot of the maintenance procedures. You see what I'm saying? When it deals with airflow. And so air conditioning is no different. Right now, if you go inside any air ventilation system, you'll see a bunch of dust. And so that's a part of that's one of the compounding factors that contributes to molding. But like I say, it's just a natural process. But the difference, how you said the temperature, makes a difference. You need to get rid of the moisture, even if it builds. You cannot allow moisture to build up then. And so what you see happens is, Gabby, I haven't had the flu from 1998, okay?
What?
Now, what happens is, because you people sit in ACs they could go and Google it, you know, because I don't come on the radio to be heard. When you sit in AC all day and then go home and eat in the night, what you do is you're drying out the mucosa, the mucous membranes. So that is why, even as the temperature cold, this is why people are more susceptible to cold during the flu season, also the sunlight exposures we do. So this is nothing new. This is not me talking, but I'm surprised to see that people really... Well, he doing, the caller, the dupe, right? He's doing like he's going to duck Princess Margaret Hospital. Maybe he has connection where he could go to the Cleveland Clinic on the moon somewhere. But we all will be down somewhere. Sooner or later, God will come for our soul, right? But I just wanted them to know that, you know, and all this talk and and all that. But, you know, I hate to see human suffering. Gabby, I've been in hospital twice. I've been in hospital like for a month, and then like a month and a week, like a few times. So I have an idea. People died in the front of me, in the back of me, through the night, schoolmates, different people. I've seen it all. I've had 7 surgeries, and I've lived past 7 perjuries by politicians all our life. This we've been suffering, listening to these people, and we have. I don't know who they think they can gaslight, but like I said, you know, they have anti-resistant, antimicrobial tiles, etc., etc., and there are certain ways for you to work with the air conditioning system to avoid condensation or to impede it. People eventually get sick.
We lost them. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back talking the hospital on Guardian Radio today on I Think on These Things Thursday. We'll be right back after this.
Girl, you see how Cora eye look funny, all black up yesterday?
But she say she bumped into a wall when she's running after the churn dam.
Yeah, but last Saturday, you see her arm was all black and blue, right?
What you saying? You think something wrong between her and Jack?
I ain't sure, but you know Jack is a jealous man. I hear him and Cora last Friday. I hear him say he hear Cora have eyes for Junior.
Now you know that ain't true. Cora is a good woman, does mind her business, take care of them churn, and go to church every Sunday. So what you think we should do?
I think we should report Jack, you know. Cora don't say nothing, but silence hides violence, and we don't want to line up in the cemetery.
Not me. I ain't getting in nobody business. Then Jack come after me and I line up next to Cora.
No, man, we could call a text Crime Stopper. And remember, we can even get some grocery money for our tip.
Remind me again, how does this work?
We can call them in Miami at 328-TIPS or 328-8477. Or when we in the island, call toll-free at 300-TIPS or 300-8477. And if you don't have no minutes, use the Crack Crime Bahamas app and we could text them and the messages get on mix up before it leave your phone so nobody can know what you saying.
So what we waiting on then? Let's go earn some grocery money.
Explore a beautifully preserved 1930s Bahamian colonial home on William and Shirley Street, filled with antiques, collectibles, rare coins, stamps, furniture, vinyl records, and pieces from the Windsor Hotel. Join our private auction Friday, December 5th, 1 to 5 p.m. Register for $50 at bahamasliquidation.com or WhatsApp 557-2522. Enjoy early catalogue access, complimentary drinks, and a private house tour. Then don't miss the free public auction Saturday, December 6th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Card payment only. Delivery available for both events. Register now. Baker's Estate Auction. Preserving the past, one treasure at a time.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Everything else got away.
96.9 FM Guardian Radio today. You're in the company of Gabby, and yes, we haven't talked for a while, and you're gonna have me every Thursday in December, I think, except for Christmas, because Christmas fall on Thursday. Just about every Thursday in December, I will be here. I'm gonna bring you. Listen, this holiday, I want us to start to get into the reason for the season as well, and really start to bring these tension levels down in our country. And let's see if we could find some silver lining. It got to be a silver lining somewhere in all this gray area. But listen, I want to read some more of your texts. This text that says, "Good day, Gabby, and thank God for you. That commercial about calling crimes tipster is a real one. This one, we in big trouble. Who are we to call when it comes to this crisis? We are being overrun by aliens. Where is our culture? Who is a Bahamian? I am weak. Every sad headline mentioned. And worse, the dangerous politicians. Heaven help us all." That's coming in from our text line. It says, "Good day. I had an experience at PMH where I was involved in an accident. And because I didn't have visible injuries, I was pushed to the side in ER. It wasn't until my husband started rowing, saying how bad the accident was, that they took me to trauma room where I began vomiting blood. Wow. It turns out I had 6 broken ribs and 1 had pierced my lung. I had internal bleeding and almost died. I had to spend a week in ICU." Texter, I am so sorry to hear that, but I trust and pray that all is well with you. But these are things that people are experiencing firsthand. They're telling their stories. This next texter says, "This is what I don't like. We know why the hospital is unavailable to Bahamians. Most of the service has to be rendered to Haitians. Private media needs to do investigative reporting." This is what the texter is saying. Listen, let's get to the phone lines. Go ahead. You're on Guardian Radio today.
Gabby, how you doing? C. Alan Johnson.
Hi, C. Alan.
Yeah, just let me make a couple of points. And one of the things is, let me just make the point. The hospital, that new hospital, is going to cost us about $22 to $25 million a year just in loan payments. you have to add to that now the staffing, the lighting, maintenance, upkeep, or whatever it is to run that hospital per year. The question we have to ask ourselves, if we hit $50, $60 million a year to keep that hospital where most people will not even pay, where does the justification come to run a hospital that, or even the staffing when we have not been able to do the staffing at the primary hospital? There has to be some logistic problem with that, and one of that comes from the fact is that we don't demand of our leadership plans. We have them give us strategies or ideas and tell us plans. Plans tells you when, who, when, where, tells you what it's going to cost, tells you KPI, key performance indicators, what the goal is, what the ambition is, what the cost it is to run it, anticipated cost to run it for years. You don't get this on anything coming from government in the 21st century. You could put these things in real time. Today, in this thing where you can't get answers from government, you could just put the data there and you could just ask AI a question. A good example of that is, like myself and others have been contaminating AI and directing it to the various websites for government to calculate your duties and things, right? So now you can go to almost each of the 9 different AI primary models, upload your receipt, and it'll calculate your customs, duty, VAT, everything except for shipping costs. And I'm saying this is individuals doing this. What can a government do? But yes, here's what it brings it back to. Priorities of government, where they're looking to create legacy projects rather than progress. So what happens is the number one problem facing our country is money. We've had a growth from under 2% to I think like 1.9 now to 1.6 anticipated for 2025 to 1.4. But the cost for running government and even for cost of living in the Bahamas have not grown to match that, not for the cost of living, cost of anything. And governments for the last 25 years have ignored the tools of the 21st century. Where does government get its money from, Gabby? Us, people. So if you have not grown their personal economy, you will demand more and more from those individuals when their cost of living. Huh? What you said?
No, go ahead.
Right, when their cost of living goes up, but their income remains the same or even is reduced. And so this is why you have this negative impact on the community, on the whole economy. And at the meantime, you've had governments for the last 15 years named at least 25 to 30 different economic models. We had a government now talking about green economy, orange economy. I challenge you, Gabby. You get $1,000, it's by tomorrow, 5 o'clock, the end of business day. You could bring me a plan, government house for the orange economy, the blue economy, the green economy, the ocean economy, or any of the economy models they have. I challenge you. Get your $1,000, get your $5,000, because none exists except by speech. And that's not how you build it. You can imagine, Gabby, you and I could find some lot and we speak our house into existence.
Thank you. Thank you so much, C. Allen. I always appreciate your very knowledgeable contributions. Calling your live on Guardian Radio today.
Good afternoon, Miss Gabby.
Good
How are
afternoon. I'm great. How are you?
Okay, Miss Gabby, you know what I've been thinking? I've been listening to the show. And I'm thinking next year what I'm going to do is try to gather up the people who feel like me about this hospital situation and go downtown and surround the House of Assembly. Probably lock all the windows up and the doors. And probably even set it afire.
Oh, no,
because,
no.
You know what they always tell us? What they say, the health of a nation is what?
It's the wealth of a nation.
Okay, so you could see that is not the case in how they're thinking. Because they can't finish one little piece. I'm not talking about a whole hospital in over 10 years. So that should you supposed to focus on your people. Education and health comes first. Or why they don't understand these things when they talk so intelligently when they in the House of Assembly, they're beating on the desk and all that and talking with and nobody can say to them, look, man, the people need to be taken care of.
Yeah, I think that's if healthcare isn't one of the primary issues going into this next general election, I don't know what we're talking about. that among immigration, thank you so much for your call, caller. That, immigration, the cost of living, I think those are the three things that Bahamians, because when you resolve these things, and oftentimes a lot of these have various adverse social and economic effects on your citizenship. So if you can fix those top three things, you will really start to see that economic engine of the Bahamas. You will start to see, because there is no way. The Bahamas that I dream about is one where we should be importing immigrants, We should be importing migrants, that is. We should be importing migrants. They should be doing the jobs that Bahamians are so wealthy that they don't have time to do. We don't want to do this, and our citizens are doing so well that we have migrants here legally that we bring in to do these jobs in these areas because we, as Bahamians, are doing so well. It's possible. It's possible. There are countries that have pulled themselves out of third world status, importing laborers, because their citizenry is doing and focused on other things. But it will also require us to be more disciplined, because who won't get fined $500 for throwing that chewing gum, wrapping paper that you thought it was only a small piece of paper on the ground? Some of these same countries that we're talking about and that we're envying, yeah, you go around there in Singapore talking about you going to chew a piece of chewing gum paper, or you chewing gum in certain spaces. It's not allowed. Are we willing to have the discipline that it takes to get us to where we need to go? Caller, you're live on Guardian Radio today.
Sorry to call you back, Gabby. But listen, I need to have a back operation next year. I have to have screws put in my back. And do you know, I'm not thinking about getting it done here in the Bahamas at all. That shouldn't be.
Wow.
And a back operation nowadays, putting screws in your back, is a simple thing. That shouldn't be. I shouldn't be thinking about going to Colombia or Cuba or anything like that. Those are simple things we're supposed to have here, because there's so much of this back problem. And you know what? Another thing, a requirement should be to be a minister. Your health care should be done at our government hospital.
Oh, they wouldn't like that.
If you don't want to go use the hospital, don't become a minister. Because you're supposed to have faith in what you're doing. And you got the money at your disposal.
A part of their package, I think, comes with some premium health care that we pay for.
Don't give them that, because they're one of us and they should be able to get just what we get. Now then, let's see if they've changed their priorities.
Thank you so much.
When they realize they got to go up there. That's what we need to do.
Thank you so much for your call, caller. That's what I've been saying. If our members of cabinet and the executive branch and the legislative branch, if they don't have the private health insurance that we provide to them on our tax-paying dime, will healthcare then become a priority? Will we then find the money? We find the money to go Dubai, the other day to the Emirates. We find the money to go to all of these places all around the world with large delegations. Why we can't find the money to take care of the health of our people? You're listening to Guardian Radio Today with Gabby. We'll take this final break and we'll be right back.
Step inside the John Baptiste Jazz Club at Bahamar, where the rhythm of the islands of the Bahamas meets the soul of New Orleans. Every night, the lights dim, the music swells, and the air fills with that unmistakable energy, the kind that makes you close your eyes and just feel. Savor signature cocktails, curated small plates, and live performances from world-class musicians, all in an intimate, artfully designed space where every seat has a story. Whether it's a romantic night out or a spontaneous evening with friends, this is where you want to be. The John Baptiste Jazz Club, only at Baha Mar. Reserve your table now at bahamar.com/jazz club or through the Baha Mar app, because every evening plays its own tune.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a fresh start with a personal loan at Fidelity. You could win refreshing prizes like a luxurious spa day, John Boat gift certificates, a cruise for two, and more. Make that move to a fresh start today. Call 356-7764. Promotion ends December 19th.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Hey, 96.9 FM Guardian Radio Today with Gabby. Listen, in the final moments of this show, I want to bring something to light. And a lot of people may feel a way about this, because we're talking about the current representation that we have in place. But my question is, who's stepping up to the plate? Who's fighting on our behalf for us, the Bahamians? Who's out there fighting for us to say we need better? Who's out there in whatever platform that you have? As we move about this political season and we start to get into this election season, I challenge you. I challenge you as voters. I challenge you as Bahamians. I challenge you as a people. When anyone comes to your door, you ask them what their thoughts and their plans are for our healthcare system, especially when you just had to sit up there all night, when that is the only place that you and your family know that you can go to. So when people come to knock on your door, you ask them what the plans is. You ask them how much they care about you. If they're not currently there, you need to find out what their plans are. Do they plan to just warm a seat in Parliament as well and sit on the back bench like the rest we got there, just sitting down here and doing nothing and saying nothing? Because when you rise and you say, I rise on behalf of the people of so and so constituency, and you are not even relating. Sometimes I tune into Parliament and I look and I wonder, I say, because my MP ain't rising on behalf of me. You ain't rising on behalf of me. Because I don't even know when the last time you sent around any type of communication or anything to say that I want to hear what you as the constituents are saying, what your issues is. So when I stand and I rise in the House of Assembly, I can truly say that I consulted the people, or at least the people that wanted to be engaged. Because some of us, we wouldn't attend a town hall meeting. We wouldn't, it doesn't matter what form of communication you put it in, we're disillusioned. We're uninterested. Whatever you do is well done. But there are parts of this country, of people that want to be involved, that want to know what's happening, that want to tell you what their views are. So when we send you to the House to represent us, and we sent you there through a majority vote, when do you think it's an appropriate time to come back and say, hey, I want to consult with you because this is the direction we're thinking of going in as your representative? We want to know, do you feel like this is going to be money well spent on building a hospital? I'm seeing the Nurses Union is quoted as well in a Guardian report saying that basically she thought that The funds could have go towards staffing because you're going to have the same issues. She said to the Guardian reporter today, you're going to have the same staffing issues. When you build this facility now, this $201 million facility, who you could put in it? You don't got people to work in what you got now. Who you could put in it? Are we going to get some more Cubans? Where are we going to find them from? Who are we putting in it when we're not investing, when our nurses and our doctors and our support staff, our auxiliary staff, everyone in these hospitals saying, we underpaid, we overworked. We need more money. So when you build this grandiose facility, well, which I thought was a good idea, now I'm learning that, hold your roll. See, in a hospital, your accident emergency still gonna be down there. Still gonna be down there off of East Street. Right down there downtown. That's where you going. The same accident emergency down there. That's where you go if you fall out and break your leg. This new thing over here don't have nothing to do with the rest of us. So then now that brings into question, does it really make sense? I want to get to the last set of these texts before we have to get up and out of here, out of your company. It says, Gabby, I don't mind migrants either, but they need to be able to speak English and maybe some Spanish. I don't mind if they light skin, have long hair, or shapely either. That's coming in from the text line. This texter says, great show as usual. Trump ending TPS for 350,000 migrants. This next texter says, same thing with Exuma. Beautiful clinic, no staff. So we building the billings. We got a beautiful, this text in Exuma saying, we got a beautiful clinic down here in Exuma. But ain't nobody to work in it. The other day I heard we got some new ambulances, but no one to drive them. That makes sense? Make it make sense. We're doing these things, but we're not expanding our capacity. We're not investing in, we have to start a retention ground game. I might as well just be honest with us. We as a people, we have to, when we see a government that says, listen, we're going to invest in health, and we're going to invest in education, and we're going to invest in these areas that are critical, that are the cornerstones of our economy. And the first thing we're going to do is pay our people more because we have to retain them. The leakage rate, the loss rate is too high. And in order to retain someone, you got to pay them. The people are not going to stay where you don't pay. I have a niece studying nursing now, and the first thing she say when she finish, she looking elsewhere to go, Canada, somewhere, because she's already heard that they overwork you in the hospitals there, and they don't pay well. And then on top of being overworked and underpaid, you lack the supplies. So you're watching your patients deteriorate right before your eyes, and there's nothing that you can do. Not a thing that you can do. This texter, texters, listen, y'all just make me laugh. I cannot always read all your texts. This texter says, Gabby, I'm going to have to paraphrase this. I cannot read all of this. It says, Gabby, you are doing an awesome job hosting the show. Please, please, please help stay on. That's what the texter summary was. This next texter says, it is a senior citizen home or a hospital they building or what? This is what the text is saying. The way these politicians building big house and don't know who in the next room, and we can't get to the next floor. My God. My God. This is what the people are saying. So in our final moments of this show, I challenge you. I challenge all of us as we go into this next season. 2026 is coming. Elections are imminent. If the person that knocks on your door and says, I support you as a Bahamian, and they cannot tell you what their plans are to help the health of you and its citizens, you need to run them from your door. Because your health is directly connected to your wealth and your pockets. Let's continue to build our Bahamas up and build Bahamians up, man. Get our doctors and nurses the supplies that they need. Fix the roof. Let's fix what we can fix. Let's get an exterminator in there and get rid of the rodents. My God, how hard that is to do. We can't put out a bid for extermination at the hospital. Can we procure someone to exterminate the hospital, please? I think that's simple enough to do. I don't think that's a hard ask for the Bahamian people. This has been Guardian Radio today. Again, I want to thank you all for listening. I want to shout out to my granddad. Next up, we have Talking Heads. I think Pearlie is on today. Pearlie's in the house. I'm not sure if Naughty and MJ is joining him. And I have to spend a special shout out to MJ because MJ, my granddaddy, love you. He love you so much, and I forget to tell you that the last time. And I say, Granddaddy, you know MJ is Naughty wife, right? He say, what that got to do with him? I say, how you could set up? Listen. So special shout outs to MJ and all the women in the media and entertainment field on Guardian Radio and all across the Bahamas, doing it big and just really making an impact in this industry for the rest of us. You are appreciated. You are valued. Again, this has been Guardian Radio Today with Gabby. I'll see you next week, Thursday. Until then, have a good day.
All my party people drinking rum, 'cause we having fun. We gon' live it up till the weekend done. 'Cause we come to dance till we meet the sun. I gon' live it up. From Nassau, we gon' jet to FBO. We gon' march that top. Jim don't know how massages go. That's always the way. Students from Bahama, stay down to Ninawa. Then the whole damn region, from the jam to red spread. Yeah, we got lime and party. Take a wine on somebody. Can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. I can't wait to dance.